Hello and welcome everybody. I hope you can hear me because the wind keeps gusting, but those that know me already, I'm back. I know I've not uploaded for a long time, but I just needed a break, but I have missed showing you my garden and showing you what I'm growing and things like that in the garden and up on the allotment. So I decided to come back, but with no promises that I'll upload every week or anything like that, because it was taking over my life before. Although there have been changes, so I'm a bit more relaxed at home and I've got a bit more time. Sorry if I'm making you shake, you're in a plant pot at the minute. I've not got my tripod with me, so yeah, I've missed showing you the things that I'm sowing and things like that, so I'll do that now. I've been sowing things since the middle of February onwards, so come and have a look. Everything's under my canopy at the minute at the side of the house, but most things do come back inside at night, or if it's a particularly cold day. Some things have been hardened off, but just in case it's really windy and you can't hear me, I have got the packets of seeds out to show you visually what I've sown. Okay, it's quite noisy around here today. I think it's just because it's a nice day, all the motorbikes are flying around and stuff like that. So so in this pot I've grown kohlrabi, colibri F1. Okay, so that's those. These, I've not got a seed packet for these because they're just poppy red corn and they just came in a little tin foil packet, so there's one that's way behind there. I've got quite a few, so all these I know they don't like being transplanted really, but I didn't have any more pots at home to put them in, so I'll just have to try and be really careful, like I did with some other corn, the normal corn that I've done, which some of them did sulk. I realised that the roots are really brittle, and that is why probably they don't like being transplanted. Here I've got melon melbas, which are those. I didn't think so many would come up, so I've probably got way too many really. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 in there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But I have got a big polytunnel Andy's just bought me, which is why I was doing that job then, making space for that. So what else have I got? These are cornflowers in the middle, and mange 2 peas. So there's the mange 2. Shiraz. So you eat these when you eat the whole thing before the peas have properly developed, when they're still quite flat. Apparently that's when you eat those. I've never grown those before, so that'll be interesting for me. And that's the cornflowers. That was just from somewhere like B&M or something like that for £1. Or Poundland or wherever. What do we have next? Oh, in here I've got black aubergines. So that's those. Black Beauty. Again, I didn't think they would come up so well and germinate so well. I thought they'd be a bit erratic like chilies are, but nearly every single one of them came up. Here I've got dwarf French beans, which are, sorry, I'm just rooting in my box. These ones, Adoration. These 2 and those 2 pumpkins, Atlantic Giant. There is a 5th seed somewhere that I dumped in one of the pots, because it hadn't germinated, and I thought I might as well stick it in the soil and see how it does. But it's not come up yet anyway, so it might have rotted or whatever. In there is a Jerusalem artichoke. Look at the neglect on this. This poor little pumpkin hasn't even got its own little pot. It's just got some soil in a bag. Pure neglect. So there's a big tuber, 2 big tubers actually in there of Jerusalem artichoke, but I'm finding that they take the time to come up, because on the plot they totally disappeared. I don't know if they rotted off or something ate them or whatever. But all I could find in the ground was 2 little tiny chunks. So this is from those 2 little tiny chunks. That's all that's in there, and they've come up straight away. And these 3 pots of sprouts, that's the only one that's been potted on. These went ridiculously leggy, but I am going to try and just transplant them really deep. These were a resow that I kept in really bright light, but even still they were trying to go leggy, I think. So just see how they go anyway. These are fennel differenzi. I don't know if I've pronounced that right. Differenzi. Can you see in the sun? There you go. And these are fennel as well, but they're Romanesco, and I thought that the seeds were really out of date, so I just chucked them all in some tissue paper, but again loads and loads sprouted, even though I'm sure they're really out of date. So that just goes to show, don't just throw them out because the date on the packet says they've gone over the best sow by. Give them a chance if you want to. Oh, that was the sprouts. Evesham special. These are all purple sprouting broccoli. A lot of stuff needs potting on really and separating, but just been so busy or ill. I've been just got over the lurgy this week. So what kind of those? Oh, it just says early purple sprouting broccoli. Yeah. Oh, more fennel Romanesco. I've got 2 kales there. Nero di Toscana. Yeah. So they're doing okay. I have put some more to germinate indoors under the fish tank. These are all turnip snowball. Just says turnip snowball and that's it. Just Wilco's packets. These are all cabbage. I think they're Offenham. Yeah. Offenham 2. These are globe artichokes. These ones, they didn't have a proper packet, so I've not got the seed packet to show you. These are cauliflowers. They're in with 2 glory lilies because I was desperate for some pots. I've got a load of pots at the allotment, but I just never brought any home. So the cauliflowers are just all the year round cauliflowers. Spinach there. I think I've just lost some seeds in another pot then. Helios F1 hybrid. They always bolt for me, but I thought I'm just going to give them another chance this year. Beetroot. It just says beetroot colour mix. I think there's Boltardi in there. What other kinds? Boltardi, Chioggia and Burpees Golden and Albino mix in that. in there. I know that carrots don't like being transplanted either, but I didn't have any ground ready and I just couldn't wait. But I'm going to try and transplant them really carefully, and I accidentally sowed some calendula in there as well, so that is the calendula that's in there. And if I could just find the carrot packet. Wait a second. It was just carrot colour mix. So does it say what? So there's Nantes, Purple Haze. Oh, and that's it. It's just those two. All right. Oh. And there's chard in here, which are the bright lights, and in this one as well. So that was the beetroot. Chard again, bright lights. These are some more of the beetroot that was neglected indoors. I have sown some direct at the allotment, but last year I had hardly any come up, so I thought I'm going to start them indoors because I think mice and that are eating them, eating the seeds. I don't know, do they like beetroot seeds? So, but these were neglected because I didn't have any compost or anything to put them in, so they got really leggy in the tissue paper, and that's why they look an absolute state. Again, no pots, not ideal. It's just a bowl. It's not got no drainage holes or nothing. That was just some Rudbeckia, but hardly any of those germinated. Right, this is me normal sweet corn. Summer Glow F1. Right, now these were all planted together but separated by bits of cardboard, and I thought they'll be okay transplanting them like that because they'll stay in their own little section, but oh no, they didn't. The roots ran all the way across underneath all the other ones, with every single one, apart from this one was in its own little pot in the middle. Now it's in this state, not because of anything to do with that. It turned out, it started off green and then it went completely white, and having a look on the internet, it said that it's most likely because it's the only one that's like that. It's probably a genetic mutation. Yes, so some people were saying that there's reverted back to green, so I thought I'll give it a chance. And it did start to come up variegated in the middle. It was getting a little bit of green, and they need the green to make their own food for chlorophyll and that. Yeah, so I thought, well, you know, he might be alright in the end. But that's when I transplanted them. Yeah. Transplanted them into these pots, and they were okay for 2 days. I kept them under some grow lights inside, and then I brought them out on a really sunny day, but it was windy. And since then, well, they just started to really sulk. This one, which I'm sure I snapped a lot of his root off because I just literally pulled his pot from out of the middle of the rest of them, and I heard something snap. So, and there was a big bit of root left in when I'd finished, and this one seems to be sulking as well. So maybe the amount of damage on them is the amount of root I snapped off. You know, like they've got a little bit, they're not looking too bad, some of them. But the ones that I suspect had a lot of root damage when I transplanted them are looking worse for wear. But I'm going to sow some more because I did sow them really early. I actually sowed these at about the 22nd of February or something like that. Okay, so these are Kelvedon Wonder peas. What's that in the middle? Oh, I think it's just some rogue weed. So these are Kelvedon Wonder. There's not actually much to show you of the packet because it's well used and all raggedy. But they're first early ones. I actually sowed some ambassador first, which I'll show you in a second. In this pot, there's a little cucumber that's always been a little runt of the sowing. It's just, see, these are its siblings, and these two were in the same pot as that originally, but he's really not doing very well. He's just growing really slowly, I think. Is it just seed to seed? If they've been in the same conditions, is it just like a bad seed? I've no idea. Anyway, there's some asparagus in here, which is just an emergency planting because I had no more pots. There's two little peanuts in here that I think are rotted. I got one peanut to start growing properly, which you'll see in a bit. But I thought they always seem, if you put them in tissue paper, they just seem to rot really quickly, no matter how only slightly damp you put the tissue paper. But they always seem to grow from the pointed end, so I'm wondering if you stick the pointed end in some soil. I'd try again with some fresh ones, but I've given them all to the birds now. These were just out of the packets of bird seed you can buy for wild birds. Maybe if you put them pointed end down but sticking out in some soil, maybe they'll grow better and not rot. I'll give that another try when I've got some fresh. I think these have already started to kind of rot a little bit. Okay, these are some chili peppers that are most likely a hybrid off a purple chili plant, but it was next to a hot banana and some other kind of chili plant, so they're likely to be a hybrid really, but they have got dark leaves like well, its first leaves were dark like the purple one that I had. These are all leeks, just Musselburgh. So the cucumbers were Market More 76. Yeah, and the leeks are just Musselburgh. The cucumbers that are doing the best are the ones that are all squashed together in this pot. I'm scared to transplant them really, but they're going to have to be. Do you think plants like having friends and they just grow better when they're together? It might be worth an experiment, that. Maybe if I just dump them all out in some soil, all still together. I don't know. These were just herbs that I just bought. Lemon verbena. I don't know if that's hardy. I did have one up at the plot, but it looked a bit dead. And this one is not hardy. It is pineapple sage. Again, I had one up at the plot and I was meant to dig it up and bring it home, but to be honest, it didn't go from September onwards. There were just things going on that was putting me off going to the plot, and other things were going. I'm not going to go into that anyway, it's boring. Broad beans, bunyard, these are. I was disappointed how many you got in the packet. Really, when I bought them previously, you always got loads in the packet, but there was only actually 15 in this, and some of them rotted. So I've actually only ended up with. These need planting out really. One, they're a bit leggy, aren't they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 15. I'm not even keen on broad beans, I don't think, so I'm not that upset, but okay. Right, these are tomato moneymaker, but there should either be 1 or 2 more because I've got them mixed up with another tomato that I did. So these are the moneymaker, and I got them mixed up with, forgive me pronunciation again, Costelluto Florentino, which are these ones. And I thought, oh, these are far bigger, I'll be able to tell which ones are which, but some of them are kind of in between. So I know there's 5 of one and 6 of the other, but it doesn't really matter because, I mean, do they hybridise if I have them close together? Doesn't matter. Tomatoes are tomato to me. There's another little one of those hybrid purple chilies in there. They actually germinated really, really well. In here is runner beans, which is just seed that I collected off mine, so they could either be hybrids or they're from the ones at home actually, but I think even those were collected seeds of my own again. So originally I had Lady Di, Enorma, and I forget the other one, but anyway, again, same as with the tomatoes. Runner bean's just a runner bean to me. These are very badly neglected lettuces. They went really leggy and they all need repotting. They're just lettuce all year round. I can find you the packet. So I'm just rummaging. I did put them in some kind of order so I could find them, but they're all falling about in my box. Oh, you don't need to see. Pat choy. So those in there looking a bit sick. And those, even though they're in such a shallow container, are doing really well. So that's Green Revolution F1. These are butternut squash. Just says, oh, Sweet Max F1. And this one is either a gourd or a pumpkin, but I think it's just a gourd, some hybrid thing that I'd collected off the allotment year before last, I think. I did sow some of the ones I'd collected the year before last, and they all came up different from the original seeds. In fact, they look nothing like them. They were all like lumpy and bumpy, whereas my original gourds weren't supposed to be like that. These ones and this one in here, these are pumpkins, Baby Burr F1. And I have put some more pumpkins collected off my own year before last. I think the Shermant or Big Macs, I can't remember. So I have started some more off, but I know pumpkins take an awful lot of room, so I may grow some at home and take some up to the plot, give some away, whatever. So these are chilies. They are orange Scotch bonnet. So that's those ones. Orange Scotch bonnet. These ones, I'm hoping more of them come up, but I actually knocked this plant pot off the windowsill by accident and tried to scrape up all the soil and put it back in, but it was behind one of the armchairs, so I couldn't see proper. And then my husband got the hoover out and I'm thinking maybe some of the seeds got hoovered up. I did have another bit of a disaster. I think I've thrown, I know I've thrown definitely some red popping corn seeds away because I got all my tissue papers mixed up, but maybe some of these were in. I have got one that germinated it and I've put it in a pot in time, but yeah, so I've actually put some more of these into tissue paper to germinate. So I've not got any here to show you. I've just got that one, but he's in intensive care under my plant light because he's not looking very good. These ones are up here. Oh no, they're not. Actually. Those ones are the ones up there. Which ones did I say was in that pot that I tipped off? The one that I tipped off was these. They're called white chocolate recipe. Right, so that's them. in there. And I'd gone and sown the whole 10 because I wanted to make sure I get the both colours and all. Ugh, never mind. And these ones in here in this pot, Havana Gold. Oh, that's the peanut that I got growing. And those are just citrus seeds off some satsumas or clementines or something like that. And this is some rhubarb, Glaskins Perpetual, because I've only got the 2 rhubarb plants up at the allotment and I just wanted some more, so I thought I'll start them from seed. I know it can take a long while, and my first sowings I did put at least 5 in there and only two came up, and they looked a bit rotted off, so I've stuck some more in and hopefully they'll come up as well. These are popcorn Fiesta. Now I know you have to keep all your sweet corns separate because you don't want them cross-pollinating, but I think I'm going to have, so I've got 3 different kinds. I think I'm going to put 1 kind at home and 2 at the allotment, really spaced apart, maybe with some kind of barrier between them, just in case any pollen blows across. I know that the tassels have to be really close together, and so that the tassels can rub each other, like, you know, bang together kind of thing, but you never know. So to be on the safe side, some can be on one side of the plot and some can be on the other. In there is asparagus, again another little emergency pot, because I'd germinated them in tissue paper and then had nowhere to put them. So it's asparagus Mary Washington. And these are French beans, dwarf tender green. I've got runner beans in there, again just some hybrid thing. Ambassador peas, I've got more up there in that pot and in all those other big pots up there. Those 2 square ones, they've always been here under the canopy, even when it was really cold. I sowed them back in February, and the ones indoors, even though they were warm and whatnot, I suppose they've not had it as much light. So these ones have had the cold but I've had lots of light, but these ones haven't because I haven't got much windowsill space to fit everything, and they've all ended up about the same size, so it's made no difference that. That's more cabbages, more purple broccoli, cornflowers, I think. I've lost the label, but it's some kind of flowers. Courgettes, and there's a rogue French bean in there, dwarf French bean, because it germinated and didn't have any soil or anything, so I just bunged him in there with them. Green broccoli, they're just the Calabrese. I've got some more up on the shelf as well. So in those 2 it's green broccoli, Calabrese. There's some more snowball turnip in that one there. That's another green broccoli, and oh seriously, my brain, I've just looked this very second. Oh, more cornflowers and some leeks in that little green tub there. These are all perennial sweet peas in this that are neglected ones from last year. They were all in the same pot, all neglected, but I've potted them on in their own individual pots. So this one looks rather ill, but he is getting little bits of green, so they'll all be alright. Oh, in there as well is aubergine pinstripe F1. These are, I've just bought. Chili pepper scotch bonnet. Tomato tumbling tom yellow. It's not looking very well, that. But it hasn't. I mean, it was okay when I picked it up in the garden centre, but then because I was going having a look outside as well and it was a freezing day, it decided to have a proper sulk, and even though it's picked back up a bit, it doesn't look great, does it? After a week as well, that. And patio pepper terrazzi. These are my sunflowers, just some kind of giant kind. I have started to germinate some more. One of my sons gave me a bunch of flowers that came with a packet of sunflower seeds, so they're germinating as well. I've put all these sticks in that to stop the pigeons from pecking all my stuff. And I think I tried to support him a little bit, but I think I've squashed his stem, so he's kind of given up the ghost. But yeah, and I've put some more of these actually to germinate, so I could just have like a big patch of them or something. And Connor, my youngest son, got me this for Mother's Day, which is a little dwarf cherry tree, just like a little patio one, so that's going to stay at home rather than at the allotment, I think. So I'm going to leave it there for today because I didn't want the video to be too long. I want to just keep the videos at about 15-20 minutes, but yeah, I feel like a 2 kgs then. But I suppose you have missed a lot and you had to catch up on a lot, so and this is what I'm doing. I'll just show you. Yeah, so Andy's bought me a polytunnel and we only have the one dog now. Cujo, who was it was a bit much for me with my health, has gone to a really good new home with a much more robust in health lady than me, so he's gone to a really good home. He's at the time of his life, he's allowed in a bedroom, bouncing on the bed and everything, which he wasn't allowed to here. So this was the dog run before, which, I mean, Bronte, there's no need for her to just have this dog run. She can have the full run of the back garden. You know, it's easy to maintain cleaning up after a dog when you've only got one. So because the polytunnel is 4 metres by 3 metres. Oh, and the greenhouse has gone. I used to have a greenhouse there, but last year the storms were that bad it ended up with hardly any glass at all, so I took it down and taken all the frame and what glass there was left up at the allotment, but I think I'll use it as like a fruit cage or something like that. So yeah, the back garden's a little bit of a mess because I've been clearing stuff. I was going to have the polytunnel here, but it was going to come too close to the house and we would have had to squeeze past it with it being 3 metres wide at its narrowest. So what we decided was like I said, Bronte can have full run of the back garden now, so I was taking that fence down because it would overlap that with the size of it. I'm only taking the wire off and I'm going to keep the frame of it and make some kind of shelf because the posts are actually quite solid. I thought that'll be good to anchor it to. And it's sheltered on the other sides. I can anchor it to the fence or something. It was only cheap and it was reduced from I think 80 to only about 52, 53 pound. So yeah, it was worth a punt at that price. So I'm going to leave it there for today and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.